Welcome to teamfortress.tv. It's another glorious week of ETF2L Season 29 Premiership coverage. I am TurboTabs, and joined with me is Beta on the production and Ombrack as my co-caster. Welcome, Ombrack.
Thanks for having me, TurboTabs. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good. It's I'm a last-minute sub-in. Hipfire was supposed to originally be the play-by-play caster, but he had to bow out because he had a bit of adminning to do for the NA Monthly over on Essentials. But I'm here now, and I'm excited to cast some TF2 last minute before another week of ETF2L kind of concludes. So we have Nunya versus Rakuzan, and you're going to have to hold my hand for a lot of this, Ombrack, because these two teams are a bit of a question mark for me. I was slowly introduced to Nunya the last game last week, as I did get to cast them, but I'm still kind of sheepish around them, a bit shy of some of these names still. But it's going to be exciting either way, because these two teams, from what I understand, should be pretty closely tiered against one another.
Should be. I can't really blame you. Familiar with all of these players. Let's just say it right away that two of the players for Rakuzan aren't in the regular roster. Because Olga is playing medic instead of ace, and Scruff is making somewhat of a comeback in scout instead of Piers. So that's a lot of new names here to digest and comprehend. And let's also say that there are many players on this server right now that are playing it their first season in Prem, so then maybe that's why we don't know a lot about them.
Well, I guess just not just for our benefit, Ombrack. I guess we could do it for the benefit of the viewers at home. We could probably go through a classic roster rundown. If I'm going to let you pick a team, though, which team do you feel the most comfortable shouting at?
I've started with Rakuzan, so might as well end them, end them, yo. So on medic, Olga is going to sub for ace. Demoman is Demos, the Romanian Demoman. The pocket soldier is Gully. The roamer is Raf. And the scouts are Scruff, and I forgot the Sui is playing the second scout.
Yep, and over on the side of Nunya, we have obviously Condog, or Connor, as he likes to be called nowadays, on that medic class. Lucas would be playing the Demo Man. Charlie will be playing the pocket soldier. Matu on that roaming soldier, although it's kind of like two roamers on that team practically. We also got Biscari and Nuthouse, the big Finnish scout duo, on that team as well. Whew. Where do I start, Ombrack? Where do I start? There's a lot of things to cover amongst all these teams. Let's talk about those new transfers you mentioned just briefly earlier. So Ace is missing.
Yeah.
Do we know why Ace is missing?
So I've been investigating a bit, and from my understanding, my little birds told me that Ace is gonna be emo, let's say. So he just decided to step down.
Ooh.
And so everybody knows that both Ace and Piers are Italian, and apparently Ace was the relay between Piers and the rest of the team. And it might be possible that Piers has not been told that there was an official tonight.
So it's like a package duo almost. They had to just rope Scruff back in just because Ace has gone off the map.
That's maybe what's happening right now, again, this is what I've been told, not a lot of information, but this sounds like it.
I like the story. So, I mean, with Olga replacing Ace, how would you think Olga is going to fare compared to Ace? You think upgrade, downgrade, side grade?
I'll have to go with downgrade, because I don't know Rakuzan that much, but I think Ace is main calling for them. So for every team, when you lose your main caller, things can get a bit rough. And Olga is more known for his pyro abilities right now, more than for his medic. But I know he played medic at quite a decent level, at least in high. So might not be too much of a downgrade, but still, as good as he might be, losing your main caller can hurt you quite a lot.
Let's talk about the nature of Ace's departure. This whole going emo thing, like, how common is this, Ombrack, amongst players at this level? Is it expected? Like every now and then you're just going to have someone that crumbles under the pressure, or is this quite a rarity?
It can happen. I don't know. I think it's really case by case, and you can't really talk for everyone. Like people have stuff going on in their own life that make them, a bit hard to read sometimes. So I'm not gonna judge Ace or anything. Not gonna blame him because I don't know what's happening with him. So, and for other players, again, I think it's way about case by case, and I can't really say much more about this. I guess it can happen, but that doesn't imply anything more than just one player isn't there tonight.
Right, okay. Well, moving past that then, let's talk about the Scruff comeback. Now, Ombrack, surely this is an upgrade. He's still available on Fantasy Beta, reminds me as well. So you need to get yourself in there if you want to farm the Scruff points. But Ombrack, Scruff, he's kind of a big name. I've heard some people saying he's the one to watch before he kind of just went at week 1. So are you just as hyped for the Scruff comeback in this week 2?
I don't know.
Don't know?
Before the season, I expected him to be one of the contenders for best Prem debut. So by starting with this, I would say yes, I'm hyped for him coming back. But I mean, Piers was a really, really strong player back in the days when he was playing playing all the time. I think now he's just more of a comeback. So maybe he's still rusty, and Scruff can still be a better pick than Piers. But on paper, it could be better. But I know Scruff couldn't play for a while because he couldn't commit because of school, I think. So maybe he hasn't played in a while too, and maybe he's going to be rusty. I think the first few minutes will tell us a bit more about this. But yeah, I think the Scruff Sweet combo was one of the major reasons why Rakuzan won high last season. So if they can come back at a good level, this is going to be... They could be a match to Nuthouse and Pure Scary.
It looks like we're having a quick server change, but we've got plenty to talk about on Ombrack, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. Like, we can keep going on the flavour of scouts. Now we know that we've got Scruff, we've got Sui. Are they going to stand up, in your opinion, against the Piscari Nuthouse super combo?
Well, they will have to. If Rakuzan wants to take something out of this game, they will have to, and I'm confident they can. Again, you have to take into account the fact that they don't have any main caller with them anymore. Well, I'm sure other players can take the cap and do it, but I don't really know much about Sui and Scruff. Are they the type of players that need to be guided throughout the game to play correctly, or are they not smart, but do they have enough game sense and comprehension to play on their own and be good on their own? I don't really know. What I know is that Nuthouse and Pure Scary need to be guided by their medic, by Connor, is the one main coding. So if this is the same sort of pattern within Rakuzan, this is going to be hard for them.
So should we just sign them off at this point, Ombrack? Should I just start cashing my fantasy points? Is Rakuzan just definitely going to lose this? Is anybody who could take his place? Who's on this Rakuzan lineup could probably, become the main caller?
I know Raf used to main call a lot when he was playing within French teams, so maybe he can, but he's playing Roma, so it's still a bit a tricky position to main call. But I'm sure he can. And then I think these guys have played together for quite a long time now, TF2 so maybe they have enough. Maybe they're just used to one another enough to play correctly without a main caller.
Well, that's a good little segue into talking about the soldiers on Ombrack. Now, everyone's a bit of a question mark here. Not many people know about Charlie or Matu or Gotti or even Raf to some people. I know that I've seen him here and around from those French lands, but is there anybody you want to highlight between all these soldiers here? Is there anybody that's probably a step above everyone else?
I don't think any of these players have played Prem before, so we have 4 newcomers on soldiers, so this is going to be interesting. I think the soldiers from Nunya are a bit favored because of Kondog. I'm going to call him Kondog, I'm sorry, but I'm so used to it. But because of Kondog main calling them, I think they're a bit more fit for Prem right now. I know Charlie had a really good game for his first week, he was in my fantasy league and I was first in the ranking. So that's just saying, you know. So I would favor, like overall, I would favor Nunya by a decent margin, and I think if the 4 scouts are kind of even, I think the difference is going to be between the soldiers.
Right, okay. So, I mean, we've got the tiniest bit of time, so we could circle it all the way around and just talk about the demo man at the end of it. We've got demos on demo, which is very nice for us casters. We can't possibly mess that up on, right? But, I mean, Lucas has made a big name of himself last season. Is he just as good on demo man as he was soldier?
The one thing that Lucas has going for him is his DM. He has always been a really good DM. I think that's actually pretty true for every players within Nunya. They're really good on DM wise, and they have Condog leading them with the main call. So I think Lucas has a really strong damage output, and if he's on the leash, I would say,
okay,
he will do really well. But I think if things get a bit hectic, Lucas can start to rely a bit too much on his DM and then overextend, or like classic demo issues. So he might have that slight flaw in his game right now, but is he as good as demo as he is on soldier? Maybe not yet, but I think that's his first season as demo in Prem 2, so you have to give him a bit of slack and a bit of time. But like, if there's one guy to look, actually 2 players to look at in this game, I think these are the demo men.
Okay. So, I mean, at this point, Ombrack, it sounds like Nunya are heavily favoured to take this, almost walk away with it. Do you think that cockiness that you're talking about, maybe the overextending, maybe going a bit too DM heavy, could we possibly see that this evening, or would they have to even throw harder than that to lose this game tonight?
It can happen. In my eyes, Nunya, like, I think this season in Prem, there is 7 above head and shoulders above everyone. Then there is Ascent, and then there is these 6 teams. I think anyone can beat anyone within this pack, but I think Nunya is a bit favored amongst all these teams. So I would give them maybe a bit more credit than any other teams in Prem right now. So I would give them. I think they're gonna win this one, but I don't think it's gonna be a roll. I think it's gonna be kind of close, and if somehow Rakuzan manage to maybe tilt a bit, I think the players from Nunya can be tilted a bit. I'm thinking about Lucas here. I'm thinking about Proskari. I think these guys can get out of the game a bit.
All right.
Crumbling a bit, not crumbling, but you know.
I know what you mean, kind of like tilting in a way.
Yeah, tilting, or even just not feeling it.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think it can happen to these players. So if
lose your mojo, as I like to call it.
So like if Lucas starts not to hit the pipes for like 2 minutes, he will get a bit angry and stuff like this.
Yeah,
it can happen. So if Rakuzan takes the better end out of it, and they can do it, I think they have smart enough players to do that. They certainly can take the edge and start winning some rounds. I think one of the major thing for Rakuzan is if they get an early lead, this is really, really good for them, more so than in any other game.
Well, it looks like we're going straight live into it, Ombrack. There's no time for chitter-chatter. It's time to go straight into the game. If you're just joining us, this is ETF2L Season 29, Premiership coverage of our Week 2 game versus... with Nunya versus Rakuzan. I'm TurboTabs, Ombrack with me on the mic and Beta on production. And the first thing I see on middle, Ombrack, is 2 demo men arriving. Well, I say 2 demo men arriving. There we go. Demos was a little bit late to the party there, but he finally makes it. And kind of confused Lucas, didn't know where he was coming from. Both of the soldiers go aggressive for Nunya in good Nunya fashion, and they've been cleaned up very quickly in good Nunya fashion as well. But I'm sure that's just space being created for the team who are actually just sitting back right now. Nunya don't really want to take the fight off that space. They kind of realise that losing the soldiers straight off the beginning of that mid fight was probably not a great thing to do, so they're just going to give up the mid now, keep Connor alive, and try and pick up the pieces from there.
So that mid from Nunya could have been really good if Lucas could have walked forward over the point, but Gully had a really good read on that situation and decided to bomb the demo man even though he pocket, and that just completely annihilated the try from Nunya. So really nice play here from the the Romanian pocket, and this is why Rakuzan took that first mid.
Well, silver lining, they kept Connor alive, so they will have even Ubers apiece between both of these teams, and at this point you're probably a little bit shocked, Rakuzan. You're the team that didn't expect to do too well, and suddenly you're the first one with the first mid. So what's the move from this point on, right? What's the best way to kind of... Oh, no time now. They're actually making that move. There's no need to talk about it. They've jumped in Gully, and Gully is turned up with nothing. He can't quite get the bomb onto Connor, who was well protected by his scouts, by his soldiers. So it's back to the drawing board for Rakuzan. What's the better play here, Ombrack?
I think what they tried here was a decent play. I'm starting to wonder, is Raf actually playing Roma? Because this is twice now that Gully has been bombing in while Raf just played around his medic, so maybe something to look out for right now. Olga is getting his first prem frag on the... Oh no, he actually played prem before, but on medic, I think this is the first prem frag here onto Matu, and maybe another attempt from Rakuzan. They want to do a double bombing soldier. I think this is the safest bet here if they don't want to lose anyone. Oh, but they actually forced somehow. Raf just jumped into choke, but Lucas, nice retaliation here, just forced the medic. And now the Ubers are quite the same. Nunya used their own shot, but this is going to be another reset on mid, I think.
Yeah, they're trying to just inch their way in. They got Charlie caught a little bit behind, and that makes them a little bit nervous on Rakuzan. And they've realised that he's back there, but they don't know how to really deal with him, so they decide to just back off and see if they can get... Oh, but Charlie gets the wraparound! He gets the kill to Olga! Oh, whoa, is Rakuzan. Now with a medic down, they've got the heal advantage and a possible Uber advantage, unless they can tie it up now with this bomb, and they're trying to get on top of... Oh, Matu denies that bomb advantage! To Raf, and he's going to feel the sweet sting of the respawn room, as now they are capping that second point over on Nunya, and all hands on deck on Ombrack. They need to get a sentry gun, they need to get a heavy weapons guy on that last point stat.
Yeah, really nice push from Nunya Hills, just edging out with that DM, just as we want somehow Rakuzan before that game. And even though you don't have Uber on this last, you can hold with a proper use of classes. Uber is being used on top right onto the scout and the demo. The sentry is going down really quickly, and now all they have to do maybe is try to play the point. But they have no frags. They all can actually die, but it doesn't really matter as long as Rakuzan can get any other frags. But only demos can get something. Raf gets frag as well, but this should be run for Nunya.
Oh, that's a real shame, Ombrack. It looked like it had the pieces there to maybe make a comeback on that last. They kept Demos alive. Demos had free reign of controlling that point, and all they needed was a couple of combat classes to start fighting off those players. But sadly, they brought back a Pyro, and he just got bullied as soon as he arrived into the fight, and there was just one soldier left from that point. So an easy round for Nunya, despite losing that first mid there. Alright, second mid. It's a do-over. This time Nunya know what they need to do. They need to maybe keep the soldiers alive a little longer, or follow up that aggression from their soldiers. Let's see how they approach it this time. They're playing a lot more patient, actually. No early bombing in. They'll find an easy pick and then follow up with the bomb, and it's going a lot more cleaner for Nunya. And you can tell the tactic chain was very well executed by the Nunya squad. They do lose Lucas, however, so that's going to kind of shunt their maybe pushing power going into this second to last point. But I guess they can just waste some time, because they did find the Olga pick during that mid.
Really nice adaptation here from Nunya. From one mid, they just knew what went wrong, and they just find a solution right away. Lucas just kept on walking over the point, but this time he was protected by his soldiers. And now with the frag onto Olga on mid, this is going to be a full Uber ad for Condog, and they might want to push with Lucas on top right once again. It worked kind of well the first time.
Well, they're going for the exact same push you were just talking about, and Connor can't seem to latch onto his demo man though. He's being pushed away, and he will eventually get to him, and they're doing a good job of actually getting some frags on the board as well as getting the sentry gun, and they're getting so much time on point, nobody's blocking it, and the only one that could block it was Scruff, but he was denied by a nice little pipe from Lucas. It's 2-0 already, Ombrack.
Yeah, Rakuzan can't quite seem to find a solution against the over-aggression from Nunya. They just seem to have a lesser DM tonight, and they need to find some solutions really quickly to take the mid and try to maybe set their own gameplay in this one. And it should start with shutting down Lucas, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, Lucas is really early to mid, so early that nobody's there to protect him. Gotti has found a way to bring this mid back from the brink, and now with the Demo Man down, surely the Demo's advantage will sail them away in this mid. They'll actually back out Nunya. They realise that losing a Demo Man that early is practically suicide on that mid.
Yeah, it looks like Gotti is listening to the stream right now. He just bombed in straight into Lucas' head and just get a frag really early. Again, Gotti was the one doing the bomb and not Rav, so I'm actually wondering who's playing pocket for Rakuzan right now. And but Olga died, so with Kondog staying alive, this even though Rakuzan gets the mid, this is going to be another Uber ad for Nunya, and it looks like they want to try to push out from Cafe, which is maybe the safest place to push out on mid.
Check those corners, Nunya. They're trying to spring a trap on you, Rakuzan, but they've actually been almost sheepdogged down to the mid there. Realised pushed all the way out, no casualties, but they've done the job. They've got the mid and they've kept their Uber advantage. They could use this advantage now into their second assault.
Yeah, Rakuzan should have find the entry here to force Kondog, but Kondog was really wary going into mid. He didn't walk following his team, but the bomb came from Gotti. Kondog doesn't use with 30 HP. Really nice hold there from the medic, and he should give the run for his team. The point I mean for his team.
It's quite the obstacle course, Ombrack. You've got a bombing soldier, you've got all these pipes being thrown away in these blind spots. They did a good job of just dodging all the spam and all the hate, but they're going in now with that Uber advantage, but they've wasted a bit of time over on Rakuzan, and then they got their own Uber advantage. They didn't. It looks like they haven't seen this coming, Ombrack. They've been slapped back by the Rakuzan Uber, but it's not quite a strong enough slap though. They do actually lose Gotti over on the flank as well when they tried to do a little wraparound play over on Nunya. A very nice opportunity sought by them, but again, nobody's slapping hard enough Ombrack. They're just going to have to deal with the tie for now.
I like how Nunya, even though they exchanged Uber, they still try to go in within top right, just relying on their DM. I really like the aggression. Didn't work out this time, but I think this just shows a good mindset going into that game. They want to set the pace and try to be aggressive. And they have a slight Uber ad. They may not know about this, and it might be too slight to push on anywhere. But I really like the mindset here right now. I see Matu on spy, and he's probably gonna try to get the medic here. He's just hiding close to the crate and spawn.
Yep, I can confirm a cloak and dagger, ladies and gentlemen. So pop on the cattle, get some snacks, get a lunchbox going, because we might be here for a long time. He's gonna wait for a perfect opportunity on this medic.
How did Demos died here? Yo, you really don't want to lose your Demo Man. I think he just died to a bait from Lucas and sync stickies. But is he gonna hurt Rakuzan? I don't know. The spy is in position. If he's uncloaked,
he's uncloaked. He wanted the sniper. He got the sniper pick, and he has actually uncloaked again. So now the scouts can't really find him, but they know he's on spy at this point. Now actually no, he went down to some little spam, so there won't even be an extended spy play out of all of that. But they're seeing if they can still make a go with this over on Nunya here. They found a way in, and they are being sort of pressured back, and the point is actually going in the Nunya favour because they spent so much time focusing that right hand side. Now they're trying to just block the point, but everybody's on there, everyone's having just a good little party, and the respawn advantage holds true, and Matu wants to die as well, it seems. He just jumps onto the point.
So I don't know what happened in the warm-up, but Lucas seems like he's really confident about his game right now. Once again, just led the charge on top right and came back without any Uber. He just wanted to go with its pipes. Didn't really achieve anything good this time, but I think Lucas is just going for his team to just go forward all the time. But now this is an Uber ad for Rakuzan. They're going into that mid without using the Uber. This is really good, and they want to be fast. Oh, the air shot coming from Gully, I think, denying the roaming bomb from Charlie, and with a 70% ad, I think Olga and his teammates should go on the prowl right now and try to take that second point.
Those are the worst kind of bombs as a roamer. You know the bomb is coming, they know the bomb is coming, but you have to make the attempt, Ombrack. You have to go in, and they do another attempt actually. Amatu throws himself in. They don't expect the second roamer from Nunya. Oh, what? Olga? He's gone down to the trap, Ombrack!
Oh boy, this is rough. Like, things started to shape up good for Rakuzan, but this could really hurt them pretty bad, because now Nunya, they can actually try to push out of their labs. There's no heals onto Rakuzan, so if Nunya wants to try, they can do it. But Cross carry dead, that's one less scout to cap, and this should help the team to come back.
Yeah, Scruff was trying to go for a backcap play, but got found out. But he did actually win the 1v1, so it will delay the push a little bit from Nunya. Not as quick or as steadfast as it possibly could be, but they can maybe think about... No, they can't possibly make that push back, and they've got the Uber charge to be scared of over against Nunya right now.
Scruff is on sniper, he's in forward, so he doesn't really have the angle to get onto Conduct right now because he's hiding behind Tetris. The bomb is coming in.
Oh, nice.
Gully forced the Uber out of Conduct. Really nice bomb here. It just allows his team to just fall back onto second point and build that Uber ad. They can try to push with. But look at Nunya, they're never satisfied. They're all pushing all the time, but little two this time, and this could mean the loss of the mid if Rakuzan decides to come back in.
Oh, it's the meat grinder, but the meat grinder can't seem to grind up some of the meat on Ombrack. They just seem to just kind of... The DM bails them out. Maybe not quite to the level that they were hoping to over on Nunya, but it is making them not lose the midpoint at the very least. They're not gaining points, but they're not losing points either.
And now Conduct is aware that he has these ads with the Uber, and he's playing really far back, and now this is a Rakuzan. They have to go really quickly, try to go for Conduct. They're going into that flower area. The bomb is coming from Gully, the raw cakes are exchanged, but he's kind of weak. And Demos is actually kind of weak. It feels like Olga is baiting the rest, everyone in his team, and the two people are dead into Rakuzan. They have to fall back right now. I felt like the call was made to be pushed, but somehow Olga was weak and he baited the rest of his team into death.
Ombrack, I'm not really a Prem medic, so I'm not going to comment on it, but isn't that the point where you want your medic to Uber in, you know, kind of realise that it's gone a bit... Oh, no!
It drops again!
Oh god, no, not like this! You baited your team to keep that Uber charge alive, and in the end, what is it worth? He's lost his players, he's lost his Ubers, and I think they've lost his defence, Ombrack. That is another round, more than likely going to Nunya. There we go. Finally, Nunya. Took the time there. 3-0. What a mistake on
Well, we don't really know what's going on within in the comms right now, so maybe something is it can be that the calls are being made and counter calls as well, but
true.
We mentioned that Celtic factor for Nunya, but it may as well come into play for Rakuzan right now because they were so good into that game, and the 2 drop from Olga just completely put them back.
Well, either way, someone had to make like a steadfast call about pushing there. It just seems so strange for them to have all these injured players in the fight and not... Anyway, we're on another mid now. I need to move past it. These players need to move past it. And it just seems Nunya are a bit quicker at moving past one another. They actually are taking some of the trades against them, and they're just playing sort of a staring contest at this point. They realise, they look at the tab keys and notice that they are down a man, so they will back off eventually, and again, in good Nunya fashion, they're keeping Connor alive, so they could probably make the comeback from this point on with that Uber.
Rakuzan is making its way into the second point. I really like the aggression. They know they have to propose something different that they want to use, and the Conduct is being forced really far back from Olga, and now Uber has been used from Olga as well. Scruff is dead within the trade, but it might as well tell Rakuzan, you know, to give up that push, and it looked like they know about it, and they're gonna reset on mid. Raf died as well on the flank, so now it's 6 against 4 players, and Nunya, knowing them right now, they're gonna push in.
Yep, they're running with their tails between their legs at this point, Rakuzan, and they've got to be feeling the squeeze of the clock at this point on back. You realise you're 3 rounds down, and half of the game is just gone. You need to make this comeback happen eventually, or otherwise you just feel like you're playing to lose if you just start turtling and just giving up points and delaying time. At what point did they need to just say enough is enough? It's time for action on Ombrack. It's time to just get stupid and make these pushes happen.
I don't think it's about being stupid. There are like 15 minutes left, still half of the map, so it's kind of a long time, and they had some opportunities before, they had some windows to push on, so if they just try to... the entry picks were good, but the execution and the second part of the fights were kind of bad every time, so if they can manage to know what went wrong and fix that, they can really quickly come back to the game. But now, as we're talking, Nunya is really being really aggressive onto that flow area.
Yeah, they tried to go with the double soldier combo on that flank-hand side, but they lose a casualty and therefore they will back off, and they're trying to take advantage over on Rakuzan. They bomb in a soldier, Gotti doesn't quite find the frag on the Connor, does get a, oh, this is some very nice follow-up from Nunya actually, counter-initiation, they like to call it. So with all those players down for Rakuzan, despite being the proactive one there, they will lose their second point because of it, but they've still got that Uber. It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's as if Nunya is just baiting Rakuzan into luring them. They have like a good situation where they can check a trade. Ooh. Well, they really have not. And Uber has been traded. The 2 frags from Demos coming in and saving Rakuzan right now. Scrub dying can hurt them when you consider pushing out of their lives, but now it's going to be 2 players up. Lucas and Kondok, they have to give this up. Lucas can't stay here as good as, but he gets 1 frag on the way, and now they're going to give this up and maybe set up another push later.
I just want to highlight as well, Nunya did a good job of finding the open flank there, and actually they're committing for the second point, but they actually cap it in time. This could go disastrous for Nunya. They lose Connor. Oh no, medic advantage for... Oh wait, that was quick actually. Olga has been tied up and killed as well, but all that effort and attempt at Olga's life has cost them their entire team, Ombrack. That ain't a good trade.
It looks like Nunya is getting a little bit cocky right now. They know they have been kind of good right now, that the M has been on point, so they are thinking, why not keep up this way, maybe a little bit more, but this little bit more make them lose that second and their medic and that mid in the last 15 seconds. So maybe Kondog right now has to see that and tone his players a bit down. And now for the suspense and the Rakuzan, this is really good because it means if they can play around this and expect Nunya, you know, to be really aggressive all the time, I think they can play around this and maybe bait them into really bad pushes.
I'm a little shocked that they didn't actually take the attempt at the second point. They were still sort of setting up on Nunya, and they actually got some decent spam going in, so as Nunya arrived on second, a lot of them were kind of lit. But I guess it wasn't really telegraphed for the Rakuzan side. They decided to just play it safe, go with the mid, and just build up the Uber and then work from there. And look, working from there is what they're doing. They go through the cafe, they're just checking the corners, checking for any spots, making sure they're not taking too much spam, but at the same time just inch by inch.
Drops over the pipe from Demos! That's really unlucky, and now Olga used his own. And this is looking really, really dire for Nunya, but what a random pipe from Demos, just completely annihilating the attempt of Nunya to just hold the second point.
Now, you say random pipe on back. Was it really, really random? Was it just, or was that complete control chaos?
Like there's this angle within this. Let's see the fight, and this is probably and that's not how to make some magic happen. But yeah, there is this angle on second point where if the medic stands in the stairs, he can get bluntly piped by the demo, and I think this is really what happened. 2 pipes from Demos, and kind of unlucky Kondok just walking in. But you know, sometimes this is what you need to come back into a game, some bit of luck.
Yeah, it's a cool game. Do you think Connor could possibly tilt from that action? Do you think...
No. I think he has way more experience. He knows this is just unlucky and not a bad play from him, so I'm pretty sure he's already over it.
So lucky, go casino, one great man once said. Anyway, we're on to our 5th mid of the game so far, and a big bomb in from Gotti, and he actually finds the Biscari kill, despite being almost destroyed in mid-air. He had just enough life lit in him, and all the other dominoes seem to be falling the way of Nunya as well. It seems like Charlie's just having a better impact as this roaming soldier. He's actually maybe going to follow up with another kill. Oh, actually gets stealed by Nuthouse. So he's going to press on forward while his Finnish buddy will cap that midpoint. Maybe he can keep going forward. Oh no, he goes back for the health pack. Boo, Charlie, boo!
I think one of the first casualties on this team for Rakuzan was Olga, so of course you don't really want to lose your medic this early, and it was a scout who killed him, so maybe you want to... Rakuzan wants his combo to be a bit more compact and protect their mate a bit more. Gotti just feeds on the flank, and now this is going to be really hard for Rakuzan to go into this. They don't have the high ground and they have to come back to flee within choke. The Nunya, they want more, they're on the power, they're trying to go for this, and it looks like the bomb is coming through choke. They want to walk in.
Is that wise though? They're feeling a lot of spam from demos. Yeah, he actually gets the Matu kill as well, and they want to maybe chase this soldier kill. No, they will think against it. Some of them are a bit lit over on the side of Rakuzan, so they've got the player advantage, and they can maybe think about walking this in here. But they've got some spamming ideas over on Nunya as well, so it's up to Gotti to make a lot of space for his team, draw some eyes, draw some fire, and he's done that. Oh, it's the Demo Man trap, and he might actually hit. Oh, Demos is low. He actually takes a almost direct, I think that was a direct actually from Charlie, but doesn't quite die. Ubers have been exchanged during all the panic Ombrack, and now everyone's just blended up all over the place. There's some Nunyas on mid, and everyone else is just trying to kind of clump together over on Rakuzan. Maybe they can just salvage the second point if everyone just makes a reel back, and they, in Nunya fashion, they're making the push forward. The scouts come from the flank. He's taken out Olga, he's taken out Demos and his team. They're all working in sync with one another on Nunya, and because of that chaos and that follow-up on second, they will walk away with that second point.
Why did it stay in? They had all the time in the world to just come back and set up a defense on last, right? And now the push is coming on top right. Conduct doesn't even have Iber yet, but they know they can just walk in. They get the gun down really early. No. And now Demos just feeds again. Raph is bombing in, gets 2 frags onto Matu and Lucas, and your first carry dies as well. So what a salvation here for Rakuzan. That was really unexpected. Just the spawners came right in time, and this is one of the first really messy situation that goes in favor of Rakuzan.
It's a shame that it didn't feel like a bit of more of a sting from the flank over of Nunya there. Maybe they lost a few players here and there, or they all decided to push through that one doorway. But imagine if the Roma came around from the other side on Black. They wouldn't have seen it coming. Anyway, Gotti, he's trying to get the bomb as Connor. Will actually force him out and get out to live, tell the tale, and actually maybe make a more of a chaos play over on the flank as well. He's managed to weasel his way out, draw the attention of Nuthouse, which will slow down this cap of second point, but I don't think it will matter too much, as they will still get it. They've got an Uber charge over on Olga as well, so they probably feel pretty good about holding
the second point. Someone left before, and now Swiss contesting it, and he gets the frag onto Charlie. What a poor play here from Nunya. And Nuthouse gets a frag onto Sweeper. What was that? I think there was some kind of miscommunication here. They were too eager to push on this Uber ad, and now they may have to give up the second point.
I mean, look at all those names on the Nunya team, Ombrack. What kind of player do you expect to actually cap the point at that? When it comes to those moments, usually all those players, when I see playing TF2, they like to charge forward. They want to get kills. They need blood. They don't need cap point.
Well, they needed it right now. It could have been around, but now this is going to be another reset. But Conduct, once again, I feel like we say that a lot, but he's sitting on a Uber ad now, and Nunya are going to maybe try to push this. This is a really small ad, but we've seen Nunya pushed on slightest ads in this game before, so they might as well try to make their way in again.
It's time to go to the Gotti cam, as he actually bombs in, immediately gets cleaned up, and the Ubers will be exchanged, however, and both of these teams kind of just rubbing up against one another, and it will actually be Rakuzan on the back foot, but they find some frags just weaseling their way back into the base here, and there's some nice cleanup actually from these scouts from Rakuzan as well, kind of picking apart Nunya at the seams, and you got Matu and Pascari still alive, and I feel like they don't have enough firepower to really contest the second point, but damn it, if they are trying.
Missed the arrow and Matu died, so I guess this one is Matu a bit too much, and now 20 ad for Olga, 6 minutes remaining, looks like Rakuzan knows about it and they're on their way.
Yep, they're flanking around. Maybe they can actually catch them off over on this flank-hand side. Connor is a bit forward, and I don't think they see it coming. They've realised their only exit point could potentially be cut off here, and they're all being minced, Ombrack, all into the meat grinder. Nom 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 from Rakuzan here. They've got that second point clean, easy. Even got Raph over in that base, slapping them with some spam rocket. Second and last secured, second round secured. Is this a comeback?
Well, may as well be. I really like this push from Rakuzan. I think the only reason why it worked is Nunya really didn't expect Rakuzan to do it, because it was the first time Rakuzan doing something this risky, and the Nunya players really weren't in position to counter that. So a really nice play here from Rakuzan, and only one round down now, and it's 5 minutes remaining.
Alright, let's see if they've got the enough adrenaline pumping through them. They throw Gotti in, and Gotti actually finds the Lucas kill. That's a massive kill for them. They just need to keep demos alive, hopefully now, and just kind of use their blob against them. And there we go. The blob pushes out the remnants of that Nunya squad. And if you're Nunya right now, Ombrack, you've got to be feeling scared, surely.
Well, I think you're start to feeling your knee shaking right now, because look at them, they're being really cautious now. We've seen them being really aggressive throughout the whole map, and to look at them right now, they're already in their labs, just holding position and building a gun. Raph is on spy, and this could be the clutch play Rakuzan is needing right now to make it a tie.
Do you expect this if you're over on Nunya right now? With all the things going through your head, you're like, I can't believe we're losing to the Olga medic. What's going on?
I don't think that. Look at Condog. It's just he hasn't looked in his back in the past like 15 seconds. So I don't think they're expecting to spy. He has this weird position onto the barrels, and he has dropped down right now. But I think this is a proper time for Raph to surprise their. But no, as I said, I don't really know what Condog is doing. I don't think Condog knows what he's doing himself, because his movements are kind of hectic right now.
Yeah,
I think we can feel the pressure here onto.
He actually bumps into it twice. There's a spy, boys. There's a spy. Find the spy. Oh, they can't seem to spot him. And oh my God, is he getting a kill? He gets a kill. He almost gets the engineer. He's trying to pistol him down. He actually dies. That was way too close, Ombrack.
What was that? I mean, the fact that he got a frag is not really surprising, because nobody expected Raph to uncloak now that he's been spotted. So he knew that he had to do something really quickly, otherwise he just would make his team waste time. So a nice read onto the situation from Raph. But whoa, that was way too close. And now this is really interesting, because Sunshine last hold is really hard to break when the Ubers are the same. And there's a little time here, only 3 minutes for Rakuzan to try to do something. So I'm expecting the panic to just take over and the weird plays to happen.
Well, Gotti sort of, he looks like he was trying to make a fancy old jump in, but gets denied by some little spam. But he's a roamer, that's his second nature. He needs to die to kind of create these chances for his team. They will come back as the soldiers still, so they're not going to swap out to a spy, no sniper, no nothing, just sticking with that roaming soldier. So at this point though, Ombrack, it kind of makes you wonder if you have Connor kind of guiding all of these players, who's going to guide Connor during all this? Who's thinking about these spies while he's thinking, okay, Charlie needs to stand here and Lucas needs to stand here and spam that, but that engineer needs to move this spot over here and all this.
Well, if these players have worked on the map before, I don't know if they have, like, did some map talk or something, but maybe all the players know what they have to do, and Kondo can actually focus on himself.
Okay.
So it depends on that. Maybe there's not that many macro management to do. And the clock is ticking, TurboTabs. It's only 1 minute and 30 seconds, and Rakuzan still hasn't do anything.
Alright, Ombrack, I want you to beam yourself into the mind. Oh wait, actually no time to beam anyone's mind into anything. The mind is in action, and they're actually taking right side 4-3 over on Rakuzan, and they thought that's gone a little too well. They've taken the sentry gun and they're like, well, what do we do now? They've got this massive blob over there and we can't seem to puncture it. Taking out the sentry gun, but we can't seem to get past the heavy or the demo, all these soldiers. They just back off. What went wrong there, Ombrack?
I think that was a fair trying to get the force, and now I would have loved to see Raph going spy and see Rakuzan do that same thing, because with a spy behind Condog, when they push, they could have got the drop. I guess this wasn't the plan. Proscar is checking for all classes anyway, so I really like this. They would have been aware if Raph would have tried something like this. And now it's only 50 seconds. Rakuzan, they have to be on the move right now. Ubers have been traded on top right, but nothing has been accomplished here, so I'm expecting a reset and maybe a dry push here from Rakuzan.
So, what do you think of this little kind of... no time. Olga gets sniped. It's okay. It's now an... Oh, no.
Wait,
what? Wait, what? No,
I thought that was the time of a sweet cap. That was insane.
I thought the round was over. I was like, oh, it just ends like that. That must mean the round is over. There's no time left. And I look at the time. There's still 20 seconds or so on the timer, Ombrack. They just got the point.
How did they throw that?
Oh my days.
I think this is what happened. Proscar got the frag onto the medic. So I think everyone from Nunya thought, okay, this is it. We've killed the med. We've taken that round. There's no way they can cap. So they just
They just started. I think they all went back to the respawn and just started high-fiving Piscari or something.
I saw a banner being used. I don't really know which one it was, but I saw a banner being used onto Nunya. And they just didn't realize that Sweep was capping, and when they realized that the damage was done.
I want to wag my finger at them on Ombrack and go tisk tisk, but I was just as checked out as Nunya was. I was like, oh, the medic's gone down. This is it. That's the game kind of taken away from them right there. But they just kept going. You know, they didn't give up themselves, and Nunya just kind of gave them a freebie.
Yeah, and I think we have to salute what Sweet did, like playing the pawn right now.
Yeah.
From the outside, it really didn't look like the solution. I assume they had to get the frag before getting the pawn, because everyone was just on last. That was just a cluster situation where everyone was in the same spot, but apart from Sui, he was on the cap.
Okay, well, as we try and kind of digest what's just happened on Ombrack, let's have a look at a mathematical breakdown of that game. We've got the logs for you right here. And anything draw your eye, Mr. Analysis?
I think the start line from Lucas says quite a lot about what happened during that game. I don't think... I mean, we highlighted how space Lucas had during that, and how much he wanted to always go forward. And it didn't really... I think that he died 13 times, and this isn't that big, but I think...
That's that overextension.
That's quite a lot, and he only had 13 tracks. So I think Nunya, their game plan really relies on Lucas just dealing a lot of damage onto the enemy team, but the plan didn't quite work out this time.
Yeah, it seems Demos just let them come to him, and slowly but surely it went the Rakuzan way. I mean, we're talking like they're winning. It is a tied game, and we do have to still have a golden cap to figure out who has won this map. But still, though, it didn't feel like Demos was pounding to me.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't feel like it, but yeah, he has this way much better stat line than Lucas, and I'm really surprised.
Well, there you go. Just the patient gamer waiting for those frags, claiming them one by one. You know, saving up his frags for the rainy day, and there you go. He's actually got away with it, and I mean, a salute to Rakuzan. Well, it's not just you, Ombrack. Everyone had them sort of checked out here. We kind of listed off the reason. Oh, they have a rusty scout potentially. They have Olga, who's subbing in for Ace instead. Ace was their main caller, but they still make it happen, Ombrack. What is it all down to the Demos just kind of doing well there, or is there somebody else that was a star player on that lineup?
I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. I think it's mainly on Demos, and everyone else has average stats, like, between both teams. There's no one just standing out.
I mean...
I'm surprised, I mentioned that a couple of times during the game, but Raf has less death than Gotti on Roma, so...
This is really shaking you to your core, hasn't it?
No, actually, Raf has more heals than Gotti, and I was... Or maybe... Okay, so maybe...
Yeah,
Raf maybe just plays pocket, because Ace is not there, so they need the main call, and Raf is probably the best in their team to main call, so maybe this is what happened, because I'm pretty sure Raf is playing Roma most of the time.
What a bold move. I mean, in the time where a lot of things have changed for your squad, not many teams would buckle down and go for the full change, you know? They kind of just hope that maybe things are running really well on automatic mode, but I mean, credit to them. Rakuzan have made the change, and the change must have been positive.
Well, so... I assume this is what I'm not 100% sure, but from the logs, this is the read I have, and from like knowing Raf as a player, I know one of his main assets is that he can main call, and he has a good read on the game. So, if this is the bet Rakuzan made, then this is a really risky one, but it's working really well.
All right, in Raf we trust. I think he's earned himself a TurboTabs cam at this point. Let's see what he can do on mid. That's probably a bad call, because there's nobody... he doesn't really do anything for the first 10 seconds of the mid. There we go, so...
Gotti! What? Gotti has been launched into the air. No one looked at him, and he just synced to rocket or to conduct. That was completely unaware of the Romanian Roma above his head. That was completely crazy here. And now this is going to be mid for the scouts, but what was that play?
I was going to say, Ombrack, during all that celebrating, Nunya just kind of wiped out Rakuzan. I mean, it was a really sick frag, but I think they were so happy they weren't concentrating for the rest of the mid.
Yeah, but in the end, Conduct died, Olga didn't, so this is gonna be a full Uber ad for Rakuzan, so...
Ooh. Alright, okay, so, I mean, lose the battle, but win the war, potentially, over on the Rakuzan side, so they just need to, hopefully, not drop. That's priority number one.
That's rough, you're harsh.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the objectives here. I mean, he uses his Uber, but Demos does go down, actually. A little bit of a chase upon Nunya there. Maybe he needs to realise what his strengths were for that previous
Nunya's going back in. Nunya's going back in. He died on the flank, and Raph may as well die as well. So this is looking really, really dire now for Rakuzan. They're just giving up at this point, but someone is on the back at Raph, but it's not going to work. And now this is going to be up to Nunya to make something happen. From what we've seen so far, with a 50 Uber ad, they can really well make a round out of this.
What do you do as Raph at this point? You've really doubled down for this backcap play, but you're a roaming soldier without that pain train, keep in mind, and now you just almost feel like you're worse than dead. He's all the way back. They know he's there, and they're keeping a rough eye on him, but he's just not contributing to his team. It's almost like playing 5v6 right now.
And they're already 5v6 because Gully died, so this may well be a 4v6. Olga has Uber in time though, and Nunya is going into the trap. They didn't expect Olga to have the Uber, and the Ubers have been traded. Nuthouse is a casualty here, and everyone from Nunya has to give this up. Raph on the backline tried to make something happen at the same time, but it got cleaned up by Puskari. Kind of unlucky here from Nunya.
Yeah, they did get the Nuthouse kill, however, so not completely wasted, but you're kind of hoping or banking on something a bit larger if you're Raph and you're really trying to prioritize your life behind enemy lines there. So it will go to a stalemate for now, and I mean, I talked about packing some sandwiches earlier on, Brad, but we could potentially be here for the rest of time, because that is just the rules of ETF2L. 2 teams enter, 1 team leaves, no time limit.
So you mentioned Olga trying not to drop when Rakuzan pushed out of the flower, and I think that history within that game, the fact that he dropped twice, is the reason why he did that really weird pop with no one was threatening him, but he still used, and I think this is why, because he dropped twice already, and in the back of his head he thought about it, and I think this is why he used.
I hate it when you do that as medic. You know, when you feel just the sting of, or maybe the slight venom of your team is like, okay, we need to push it and not drop this time, and you'll kind of really make sure you won't mess up. In doing so, you kind of go too far to the other side of things and pop too early, and just can't really do anything anyway.
Well, Demos almost got out of position here by Lucas and Matsu, but he managed to survive with a scrape of HP, and now this is gonna be a reset. I don't really know what Nunya's plan is to push. I like how Lucas is just peeking on top right, and the bomb is coming in from Charlie, but the gun completely launched into Olga. If he doesn't, Olga just
Olga's meeting a lot of pipes, so he's like, stand on the table, the pipes, team, please, never man away, and they will actually push him away, but I was a bit scared for Olga at that point. He had his back to the wall, Ombrack.
And Raph is gonna try again some French espionage. He is trying to go for the drop to Kundak, because I think Raph wisely knows that Nunya are not gonna try anything risky, and even if you're only 5 on last, it's probably enough to hold. So he knows that now it's the time to play spy and try to break that hold and try to get 1 or 2 frags.
Oh, the scouts, they're doing their rounds, they're having a peek, they're just, you know, checking the courtyard basically. Don't spot the invisible player just yet, but look at all those eyes that could possibly catch Raph at this point. How is he going to do it, Ombrack? What does he need to really make the stab happen?
He can't get the drop anymore because Conduct just choose on top right. Olga is making again, but now he dropped on the floor, and Demos is going to be caught out of position, and he Raph dies as well. And Demos is another casualty here. That hold from Olga maybe wasn't the best play in the world. Gully is another casualty, and Nunya is just walking in left side. 2 frags, 2 retaliation here, but this is going to be really hard. 2 players against 4, and this is the round for Nunya. But what was that play? What was that trade?
I guess they were kind of hoping if they fought with the forced out Uber there, Raph could just wrap around and stab them just as the Uber ran out. But the Uber did not run out. He backstabbed a Ubered player. Even the power of a backstab cannot possibly go through invincibility. And from there, the dominoes just fell one by one. Everyone was just in a weird place on their own. And it just went to Nunya so easily.
Okay, so I'm probably gonna be a bit rough onto Olga right now, but the fact that they milked the Uber and dropped down, he surfed onto the floor, so it didn't use right away. But then he got disconnected from demos, and then Rakuzan lost the demo man, and this is probably why they lost the round. But like they tried to play risky, and they really were not rewarded. Hey, you wanted really to play safe and to make sure nothing bad happened, and quite the opposite happened.
Well, this is cool, just bringing up the logs of a golden cap, but I mean, we were kind of puzzled why Lucas wasn't doing too well at that last game, and it's because he was saving it for the golden cap, Ombrack. He wants to...
yeah. How many DPM? Because he's in my fantasy league.
You got 470 right there.
Thank you, Lucas. I know you had it in you. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the fantasy league and their standings on like golden caps and all that. I guess you just keep farming more and more points the more gameplay that's happening. So a good job that Lucas is kind of brought it home for the boys at fantasy. But I mean, there's not much else to really look at. Some people, of course, are going to die. Some people are going to get trades. Not a really grand look at stats here. I mean, we could have a look at some of the players that Lucas was bullying. I mean, he got Gotti, he got demos. Take that, demos.
I feel like even not taking logs into account, but I think in the end of the day, this is kind of deserved golden cap win for Nunya. I think they're a bit disappointed not to take 3 points out of Sunshine, but from what we've seen on that 35 minutes game, I think if one team deserved the win a bit more, it was Nunya. So the fact that Rakuzan got 1 point it's pretty worth it, deserved for Rakuzan, but at the end of the day, I think Nunya was a better team on Sunshine.
So, if you're over on the squad of Rakuzan right now, Ombrack, are you upset at how that game turned out? I mean, you kind of made quite a good comeback at the end of it and got a point for it. I mean, can you really be that upset when you've lost a main caller going into this match, and you've also got a new scout kind of shaking off some rust a little bit?
Of course you're upset because it was really close, and when you lose to Golden Cap, this is a bit disappointing, of course, but I think there's quite a few bits of game plan that happened in that first game that can really be replicated onto Gully Wash, and I think Rakuzan, obviously they have a shot here, solely for the fact that maybe Nunya expected 3 points, they only got 2, maybe they're a bit upset, I don't know what's going on in their heads right now, but when you're Rakuzan, considering the situation, I don't know how much of a short notice it has been that Ace and Pierce weren't playing, but if it was like 2 hours ago, the fact that they got 1 point out of this is already good, and I think they should keep their spirit high for this one, because there's definitely some room to make a good comeback and take the 3 points in Gully Wash.
Alright, well, the Golden Cap machine making Rakuzan will move on to Gully Wash to face Nunya now to maybe take some of those 3 points away from them, maybe end this on a nice 4-2 or something like along those lines. But Gully Wash, talk to me about it, Ombrack. Who does this immediately favour? Is this a map that's going to favour Nunya, or is this a map that's going to favour Rakuzan?
Well, before that game, I would have said it would favour Nunya, because I know Lucas has a really good impact DM-wise, and Gully Wash is known to be an interesting map, let's say, for Demoman.
Yeah.
But that game for Demos on Sunshine makes me wonder now what is going to happen. And one thing that we haven't seen at all on Sunshine is Sui ability to play sniper. And Gully Wash has way better angles to snipe. So maybe this is something that can happen for Rakuzan as well.
That's a good point. We haven't seen that friend, the sniper, all match, really. We saw a little bit of him on some defense, but defense, you're going to see that one shot from the sniper on defense every game, so that hardly counts. But yeah, I'm actually almost missing the little guy, so maybe we'll see this in our second map of the evening. It is our continued coverage of ETF2L Season 29 Premiership coverage, Week 2, Nunya versus Rakuzan, TurboTabs, Ombrack, Beta. Those are the people staffing it right now, and the first thing I see on this mid is a big boy bomb from Charlie, and he picks up the Olga kill, and you must be signing yourself off at this point if you're ever on Rakuzan. They just barrel in, see if they can just throw the entire force of Rakuzan and hope that they can come out on top.
Demo against scouts, demo against scouts. Oh, the fight is coming!
Oh, not House, he's 360ing, he's trying his best to like, oh, actually bats down Demos! Disrespect.
That was a lock and load if I'm not mistaken from Demos. So yeah, that early frag from Charlie onto Olga should never have happened. I don't know. I wasn't watching them, so I don't know whose mistake is it. Is it Olga that was walking way too forward, or is he
he wasn't even in mid. He was in like his own little the back area of the big door. In a way.
Conduct died too, and even though the Ubers are the same, Nunya doesn't care. They're just walking in, get a frag onto Scrub. Rakuzan wasn't ready to welcome the Nunya team on their second point, and they have to give this up. They're even losing the demo into this fight. And now this is gonna be, Ubers are the same, but who knows what Nunya can do now.
Yeah, a common trap of Gully Wash. When you're backing out, you don't really expect that big door flank coming in. It's the last thing on your mind, and Nunya used it to great effect. They're pushing in, they're keeping up the spam force, but they're meeting a bit more resistance over on this last point. Gotti is still kicking, but they need to keep him a mind on the point though. They have to deal with the scout who's actually kind of giving the ring around the roses. Oh, there we go. Gotti will actually bring a sigh of relief to his team now, and Nunya, they kind of stepped a bit too far out there, in my opinion.
If you look at the outcome, they didn't really. I mean, Nuthouse almost got the cap. He got the force onto Olga, and now Kondog is sitting on the 80% ad. So, all in all, this play was really good. Kind of messy, but the outcome is really good for Nunya, and I'm expecting them to push any second now.
Alright, well, they're just being patient about it. They've realised they've got quite a fat Uber advantage, so they can take the time, really check every nook and cranny, make sure that Connor doesn't trip on anything, and there we go, they're going with the scout and demo man Uber straight in from bottom, and they actually get a very early kill onto Gotti. I think that was actually a separate little flank kill during all that. The flank actually meets up on the point, takes out the heavy weapons guy, takes out another heavy class, and there you go. Just get some heavy DM players on that point, and it will cap in no time, Ombrack.
Well, Gotti died on balcony right before the Uber was used, so you really don't want to hold your last without Uber and being one man down. So it looked really fishy from the start from Rakuzan. Again, nice entry onto that map from Nunya, taking the first round once again, being in the lead, and this is a situation they're really happy with.
Now, if you're Nunya, do you really want to get the early kill onto Olga? Because last time it sent them in Rakuzan into a bloody rage as they actually decimated the rest of the Nunya squad. They actually decided to not pinpoint Olga, but pinpoint Scruff, who was trying to fight on that right-hand side. But he's kind of bought a little space for his team, and they want to hold on to each other's sides right now and not really take the fight to one another. They're just going to heal up, and Sui will be the first one to actually try and bring out some aggression to one of these teams. A nice follow-up from Gotti, but the TM is just not quite there. Charlie does inch out against him, and again, both teams are just playing, you know, almost like fighter battleships. They don't want to cross that line.
Drops. He's really weak on the ground. He's being maybe chased by a scout. He's 60 HP, and the Uber has been used by Olga. He doesn't know that Conduct dies, and Scruff and Sui are doing so much stuff for their team right now. And even though Scruff dies, he just wins the mid for his team.
It came down to one last pipe from Lucas to hopefully even out that scout chase there, but he misses, and the scout benefits. He takes out Connor, and with Connor's death, Olga felt more than comfortable to use that Uber. I think he even actually popped it during that, realising just the sheer positional advantage he had during that little mid-fight. Lucas will just get a random-ass kill out of nowhere, which I can't possibly guess where he got it from, but... Big door blind dead, disgusting. Beta just whispers in my ear. Alright, so we've got a last defense for Nunya now. Let's see if they can defend it just as well as they can attack it. show Rakuzan a thing or two. They have got an uber advantage over on Rakuzan as well, so they're kind of simulating what they had to deal with against Nunya. But Nunya have their uber maybe a little bit quicker than they do. They have to be really quick off the mark, and they're trying to find the medic, but he's nowhere to be found. They will settle for the sentry gun instead, and they do eventually find him, but there was that pesky respawn. He just keeps going back there, and he's got 94%. He needs to heal somebody there. Finally links up with his team, and good God, the Nuthouse heavy weapons guy does not need no sticking Uber. He's just going to get everybody. Everyone's just jumping into his minigun. Nice defense from Nuthouse there. He'll actually sail him to the very top of the scoreboard on his team. Well played, MVP.
The entry was good for Nunya, but Rakuzan, they got no frag with their charge. They took ages to take down the gun, and then they didn't use that Uber charge to take the high ground. So the idea was good, but the execution was really poor. And now Kondok is sitting on a 50% ad, and Scruff is on sniper. Is he in forward? I don't really see where he's. No, he's in the bush. He's hiding in the bush, and I don't think Nunya is aware of that.
Yep, and Gotti has been punished for his actually gets surgically punished, and yep, so Scruff is still in the meantime in that bush. He's really just holding back, waiting for the perfect opportunity, and he's just going to keep sitting, and he will eventually get found out because that sniper rifle is still a noisy weapon, and they're going to not only get the midpoint, but they'll probably even get the second point as well, as they've already pushed out the rest of Rakuzan. I mean,
put them a lot of time, and now Olga's gonna have the Uber as well, so at least Rakuzan has something going for them right now. That play from Scruff was really close, and Nunya wasn't aware of his position for a really long time. He could have got the drop onto Kondok. Unfortunately, he didn't got it, and now it's gonna be interesting to see if Nunya is patient enough to just sack people and take the time to break the hold, or if they just want to go straight ahead and just take a trade.
Yeah, I mean, if they follow the Cadus handbook of TF2, they should never lose control of this position here. This is the dominant position, you know? You'd never risk. Always just hold over your advantage against the enemy team and just beat them to death with these very low-risk plays. But is that the style of Nunya, though, Ombrack?
I doubt it. I don't think this is the style of anyone anymore anyway, but I think someone is going back to spawn to switch things up. I see Charlie isn't forward. He's going for a paint train play. I'm expecting some point play here from Nunya with that decision from Charlie. Maybe double bombing soldier onto the point, trying to get a lot of cap time and then forcing everyone from Rakuzan to drop down. Scruff is checking for off classes on Spy, but he's not going to see anything because there's no off classes onto Nunya. And okay, I think this is going to be a set play here from Nunya, and this is going to be really interesting to see how they manage to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, Rakuzan are a bit suspicious. They're like getting Scruff to check for some off classes because something just doesn't feel right. I mean,
but Charlie died anyway, so I guess this doesn't mean anything.
Well, they are inching out forwards. Demos is up top, keep in mind, during all this, while Nunya are holding that low. Scruff just goes in! Oh, okay, well, he gets killed and eaten up by the Nunya 5-man sit in big door there. I don't know what the play was there. He just kind of hoped he could just get a couple of meat shots onto the medic, I suppose. Oh, so Ubering in, and the counter Uber does come out from Olga, but he's a bit away from his pocket. There we go, and latches back onto his buddy. And Graf really wants to take this fat solo in. He must think he's Eversire or something, but Demos was actually the true little player there. He comes sneaking around from the lower door and actually finds the pick. They get outside. That's a very nice push out from Rakuzan to actually not only get the a nice little trade of Ubers, but to get outside and get that cap point going.
I thought what Raph did was really greedy, going into lobby against 4 players, but I didn't realize Demos was assisting him, so in the end it turns out to be a really good play here from the soon maybe to be pocket full-time Raph.
I mean, if things are going this well on Ombrack, do you actually consider I mean, if Ace was to come back right now, would you accept him?
Of course.
Of course.
It has only been 1 hour and 30 minutes of gameplay for Rakuzan. But yeah,
get out of here with your logic, Ombrack. You're killing the vibe here. I want storylines. Oh, no. I want grand kicks.
Please don't kill my vibe.
Okay, well, what's happening in this game? We've got both of these teams. Oh, we've actually got Gotti. He's jumping in. Oh, he goes for the air shot attempt, but Connor stares him in the eyes.
Demos went in for some really unknown reason, and he's been punished really hard.
Don't worry, buddy. I know the reason why. That last push-in where they had the fat Raf solo Uber, he realised that demos wasn't being paid attention to at all last time. Maybe it could work a second time, but I mean, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. They're not going to fall for that again on Ombrack, so demos gets punished.
Maybe they did on purpose so Sweet can spawn back and... Oh, the drop is coming! Charlie just bombing into a choke and get 2 nice rockets onto Olga. What really nice play here from Charlie, and he's just giving his team a really nice window here to push in.
That was clean, Ombrack. You could practically eat your meal off of that roaming bomb there. So they've got Connor alive, hopefully, during the entire portion of this second push out. They just need to be very careful of any sort of little plays they could do. Maybe a sniper play, for example, coming from Swee in top. There we go, they actually push him out there we go. So, with that second point captured, they've got this Uber charge ready to go. They're actually already pushing whilst I was announcing such a thing, and Scruff is trying to kind of soak in as much of that Uber charge as possible to kind of provide his team a chance to come back here, and they're doing a decent job of it. There's enough chaos and enough time bought that maybe they can actually get some respawners in as well from the very same Scruff. But they are kind of losing a few players. There's Stickies on the point, Ombrack. This is
Lucas is coming. He's pushing everyone away from the
Scruff is here though. Scruff to save the day. Eventually, there we go. Lucas will get cleaned up. And again, you don't have to exactly get all the kills immediately, Ombrack. You just need to buy time because eventually the cavalry will come in.
No, Cruz carry is on he's sniping on Big Door. Olga crossed safely. No one. He wasn't checked by the sniper right now, and he's now he has a cool, nice Uber but he knows that Pruskar is looking for him, a sniper. He's going to drop down.
Oh, he's going to drop down. He sees the drop down. He gets picked up and dropped down, Ombrack. No, that was not the play. Why do you go for the longest corridor when you have a sniper on the enemy team?
Well, I didn't know. I don't know where the sniper was looking in from, but
he was looking from choke, Ombrack. He saw him all the way. They saw that that drop down play coming a mile off. And they've been punished.
Well, that's kind of unfortunate here.
They still win, but you know, Olga died.
Yeah, this is just gonna look bad on the logs, I guess. Now they have secured the second point. They just have to play. This is gonna be hard for Nunya to push out of their last anyway, so they can take their time and build a gun and talk about how they want to push this last, because I see a heavy in the ends of Kruskari, so I'm doubting Nunya's gonna try anything.
You say that, but I see some heads actually poking out, going to the forward lobby, seeing if they can maybe poke at this top area. And Connor, he's committed. He wants to stick with his pocket soldier and really think about using this Uber. They actually find a trap onto Swee. That must have been like the flank at work there. And there's no one really around in the second point to think about defending it. They're too scared of that Uber charge, Ombrack.
So much respect given to Nunya here from Rakuzan. Kind of
oh, Charlie.
No shot. It was a match who doesn't care about the stickies, just walking with 5 stickies. Charlie's bombing in and he's bombing out. He's not doing anything, just distracting for his team, maybe trying to push in Big Door. And somehow Rakuzan has the high ground, but they look pretty still. I don't know, they're amazed, I would say. Like, they're just looking at Nunya walking in. Finally Nunya realizes this is not a good place to push from, and they fall back into the second point. But
I mean,
for a moment I thought Rakuzan was just getting overwhelmed by nothing.
I'm a little confused there, because it looked like Charlie was in, he wasn't noticed at all, but he decides to jump in Big Door with his team. Maybe he went a bit colourblind for a minute there and jumped into the wrong team. But, I mean, they haven't lost anything, so it's not the worst scenario in the world, but I felt like there's only so many chances you get like that as a roaming soldier.
But yeah, he already got one drop, so you know he knows that
oh, right, just go for that 100%.
Wait a bit, so it looks better on the frag movie, you know.
Yeah. Go for that 100% set record.
Swee almost died. He's in the backline, and he trades with Charlie somehow with 3 HP. I don't think this is gonna do anything for Rakuzan right now, because there's still 1 scout down, and this is really hard now to push onto that Victor area without a scout. But maybe it's gonna just respawn on sniper actually.
Yep. So we'll see. Yep, there we go. He's a god at the video game. Who knew? All right. So surely you'd see this coming if you were on Nunya, though. I mean, you even got Charlie as the spy, you know, checking for off classes in the respawn. Oh yes.
Oh, okay,
these are prem players on Ombrack. They're efficient at every possible moment. Even when they die, their life has worth. And,
oh, that's deep.
Alright, well, let's see if it's a deep enough play to see the sniper play and counteract it. They almost get the kill onto Sui there, get some good damage, but Lucas can't seem to find the surgical stickies quite well enough. So they're going to kind of switch things around over on Rakuzan, seeing if Sui can get a pick on the other door instead, and now Lucas is like, oh, the sniper's there, time to go to the other door now and pick on Sui.
Why is Charlie on last? Oh, and
wow.
Sui gets a frag onto Matthew, but he dies right away from stickies from Lucas. So in the end, again, this isn't much. One frag for one another, just trades. This isn't taking Rakuzan anywhere.
I mean, yeah, you're pretty happy if you're Nunya right now. This is just time being wasted, and we have seen those Gully Wash games in the past, Ombrack, where that one round wonder wins it for a team. So we could be in for a very long slog of a game if. But I like these sort of scenarios. It really brings out the brains in these teams. See what creative juices they can get flowing, and you know, I want to see.
There's not much creativity going on right now. I'm sorry to put you down here, TurboTabs, but there's nothing happening on this Gully Wash map.
They definitely could get the creative juices flowing if they just had the confidence, you know. And look, see, they have the confidence to throw Sui in the big door area. I mean, the confidence isn't going to beat off Charlie, but it's going to... oh, there we go. Yep, Uber traded. They wrap around Nunya over to their flank. A nice little play, but you got Demos keeping a track of that. He's just sticking up that entire big door, making sure that the huge bunch of them couldn't come in, but he wasn't paying attention to the choke in the meantime and gets punished for it. He tries to jump back in there, but gets killed off by Charlie now, and this is Nunya's point to surely win. It's up to the DM of Rakuzan to kind of claw them back at this point, and I mean, they've also got that respawn advantage, keep in mind, on Ombrack, so if they just keep it well in the fight, and actually, no, Nunya will do the job for them.
Oh, they don't, Demos doesn't know Charlie's there, just waiting for him, gets the frag! How? Charlie knew that Demos was going in. Demos didn't know that Charlie was there, and somehow the Demo man got the upper hand onto this fight. And now this is gonna be, it's actually something happened. Rakuzan got a point out of, actually, Nunya tried to do something and they just got punished out of it, so...
So, what have we learned, boys and girls? Never do anything again. So
don't push. Oh, the cap time from Scarf really going, almost just capping this last point here, but he gets denied by a scout and the sentry gun, and Gully dies as well for his sins. So unless it's two people dead onto Rakuzan, maybe Nunya will try to push with this. It looks like Luca is making a way onto the lower lobby area.
Oh, sweet. He's up the top though, and no, they're actually doing a good job of checking every avenue over on Nunya to make sure they won't get that capped, but they have to deal with Raph before they can actually make this push in. He will be swayed off and now takes a little bit of damage. They actually just commit the Uber in. They just really want to get the ball rolling over on Nunya. I'm not sure about this though. Now that they've got this Rakuzan Uber, they can actually wrap around them, go underneath them, past the Nunya squad and go straight to last. It's just the soldier left. It's just the scouts on point. Oh, that's not bullshit.
Well, this is really hard for Nunya because they are the team trying to initiate anything and they're getting punished all the time, so it's really hard to find the balance between...
I mean, I just don't know why. Like, why was the Uber pop there? They just felt like, oh, okay, I don't feel like this is going quick enough, says Connor, and he just pops the Uber and everyone starts to panic and fight and realise that Rakuzan don't need to fight. Anyway, we're going to our third mid of the game, and they're trying to go for that massive signature bomb from the first mid, and it's working out even better than the last mid on Ombrack. They've actually not only got the Olga frag, they got some bonus ref frags and damage as well.
That first bomb came from Charlie, just doing that what he did on the first mid, double bombing through mid. Rakuzan took some time to kill him, and then Matthew had all the room in the world to just walk in and get two rockets onto Olga. So I hear a gun in the hands of Sui. Scruff is on Spy. Is he only checking for upclasses? Or
no,
he's going
spy,
for
it? Spy. The correct Spy. He's just sitting in the lobby right now, almost playing the security camera. So he's uncloaked. Oh, he actually sees it coming, Connor. Again, isn't really going to succumb to those spy plays that could possibly have haunted him in that Sunshine game. You all live to tell the tale. Pop off this Uber. They need to deal with the sentry gun. Okay, sentry gun dealt with as they're trying to stack point maybe, but there's some stickies on there they need to keep a mindful eye of, and they're just throwing a couple of players on there. They do respond over on Rakuzan, getting some players, some bodies on that point, and as the dust settles, it does look like we've actually got a scout duel. Ooh, and nice play from Connor, gets straight onto the point. Not nice play by Connor, he ends up dying. And it's just the Piscari versus the buff scout. I wonder who's going to win. It's the buff scout. Duh.
Well, it's Olga. Olga got a frag here. I think the play from Conduct was decent because he forced the Uber out of Olga. And this probably was the best thing he could have wished for. Besides just living by fleeing, but you know, Conduct needs his soul, so that's why he went in. Matu now is the one playing spy, and I'm not really. Oh, he was on that trying to get the cap, but Gully was on his guard and just got a frag. And now this is maybe what the entry pick or Rakuzan is needing to push in. There's no sniper, so maybe now drop down is the way to go.
Yep, Charlie doesn't even know where the rest of the team is. He decides to just go for the flank instead, and oh, there's the medic, hey, and gets cleaned up despite finding him towards the end of his life. So they will get the midpoint. They've actually still got an Uber advantage over on the Rakuzan here, so they can maybe keep sailing this through the second point. Maybe even get the slip onto Connor. Who knows? Who knows? Find out. Tune in as they're poking their way through the choke point. Demos gets an eye onto that roaming soldier. Matu surely dealt with here. There we go. He gets cleaned up, and Connor's still in, so maybe they could make a jump onto him, but nobody wants to. Oh, a pipe onto him. Does no one want to follow up? Anybody? Anyone? Oh, the sticky. It was so close. It almost makes my body hurt. Oh. Okay. Well, we've got Ubers on both of these teams, and they've got the second point.
And Lucas is not up, so maybe Rakuzan could have. Oh, they could have. They could have. I'm not saying they should have, but they could have used that tiny window to go in and try to force the Uber out of Conduct. But now they just lost Gotti, and this should be a reset. But is Nunya really trying to cook this? No, they should not. They have been punished twice and lost a round out of this, so they should be happy to sit on their last and just wait for Rakuzan maybe to make the mistake.
I mean, but do you want to settle for a draw, Ombrack? Ugh.
Oh, no. That's a good Arctic Monkey song.
Okay, well, let's. I don't know what to say after that. Now I'm just thinking of Arctic Monkey songs.
I just broke the cast. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. So we've got Ubers apiece. Both of these teams felt the scorn of kind of rushing things. So who's kind of favoured to make the first footstep here on Brack? Who's going to be?
Rakuzan, obviously, they're pushing. First carries on sniper, so this is the sign. Nunya isn't going to try to push out until Rakuzan does something. The bomb is coming in from Gotti. He's trying to get one rocket onto Conduct, but doesn't do it because Charlie ate a lot of damage actually. And now two people are dead. Sui and Gotti died, and maybe now Nunya will try to make something happen. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to push. The main door from Lobby is a really worst place to push here. They've been used really early, and Demos dies again. I think this is the third time that now Olga drops his demo in that fight, and Rav died up on the top. So, oh, that should have been a really bad push from Nunya, but somehow bad decisions from Rakuzan made it worth.
Oh no, I was just having a quick little chuckle to myself there. You realise during all of that oh, okay, well, Scruff just throws himself in there. Very questionable play from these scouts. They just seem like they're almost a little bit annoyed about these situations that they're losing. I can see like they're just kind of coming in, peppering some of these players just so they can hurt them, you know? Not kill them, just hurt them, you know? And now they will actually just try and ransack this choke point on Nunya, but again, this is TF2, you're not invincible in this game, you can die from a choke point against a competent team that can hold it, so they will lose 2 players off the back of that. Surely they will start pushing.
Oh, they're going in, they're going super deep onto Lucas, and the Conduct doesn't have the charge, so he has to drop his demo man, and this play that looked really reckless from Rakuzan is actually working out quite well. Olga is really weak, and he's not dead yet.
Oh my god, Olga, he just danced like all the way around that scout, and he couldn't hit a single shot onto him, and with his survival he probably brings this round back for them now, and he can use his Uber charges, full Uber charge, keep in mind, and bring this round back to the realm of Rakuzan.
And no forward spawn for Nunya too, but somehow Rakuzan did decide to push on the exact location where Lucas had stickies, so kind of an unlucky decision here, but it's still an ad for Rakuzan, so they may as well try again to go from Victor and try to burst through Nunya. It looked like
they're not going big though. they're going choke instead. They don't want to take this Uber, and they will actually get the kill onto Matu, who didn't expect the rotation coming out. I mean, a lot of time wasted over on Rakuzan, though. It might have came down for that scout pick as well. They were kind of banking on that scout to be a big part of their Uber, and with losing him, it has delayed a lot of time. And therefore, Connor will have his Uber charge for this last defense.
Are they playing like they're bad? Oh, I for a second I thought they wanted to go main as if they had Uber A, but they didn't. They backed off, and that was a good decision here. Thanks God.
I think they just realised that, you know, once you waste so much time, you just have to respect that you've made a poor mistake, or maybe not a poor mistake, but just too much time has passed. You can't possibly think you've got an Uber charge still in your favour, so they'll just be careful about it. They will bomb in Gotti, and he immediately gets cleaned up by the stickies on point. I mean, this doesn't really open.
Oh, the Uber is used.
Oh no, and is Connor not going to use his Uber? He milks it all the way. You don't even have to call it a milk at this point, because he hasn't even used it. He's actually... I don't know, we need a...
He hasn't even been damaged, so that's not even a milk, that's just a proper play here. And
we just need a word for it, like, he cheesed it.
Oh, but maybe that was the part of the plan all along, because I see Scruff on Spy, and he's dead! Look at that stick is lower lobby, so that's not happening, and now they have to force the Uber out of contact. But once again, the way they play, Conduct is rarely threatened by any bombing soldiers. That one is coming, but he's not doing anything, and Nunya is kind of slow here, so maybe Olga will get his Uber in time to hold mid, but I feel like Conduct hasn't been bombed enough in this game, or yeah. That's probably
Sticky's on the point though. Oh, you saw Demos was trying to put his best Lucas impression, getting a blind debt hopefully, but doesn't actually find one. So it's 1-1. They will actually trade off the Ubers at the choke point, and both of these teams don't really want to commit in on either side right now. They will actually throw one scout over on Rakuzan, but it's just a trade at the end of the day. And I'm not sure what more you can ask for your scout at that point. Maybe a trade onto the medic, but Nunya aren't going to allow that, surely.
And now both teams will start to wonder what to do, because the clock is ticking down. It's only 3 minutes left in that game, and maybe it's going to be another golden cap, who knows. But Carry is going to try to make the decision. He's on sniper, he's on the peak, and maybe try to aim for some heads, because I think this is how you play sniper.
I mean, is it going to be Pro Scary? It could be a LOL Scary that turns up to this map as well.
Who knows? Only time will tell.
He got the drop onto Olga, that was quite impressive, but I mean, that drop led to his team losing the mid as well, so... Well, oh, that was a nice little headshot actually coming out. He actually gets the Scruff kill. Did he die? Did he crater?
Rap died as well on Choke, I think. He traded, and Charlie's dead, so no soldier on Nunya's side. This is a bit bad. And everyone from Rakuzan is on the big door. Everyone is close to the same area, and nothing really happened here. And now no one is looking at big door. If Proscar decides to pick here, he can get quite a head start into Rakuzan, but he's not.
He's sheepish though. He's like been punished before, and every time I go on sniper for this team, bad things happen, and he's scared of making a massive push for it. He's instead going for the long sight line of aiming from choke from that the little elbow.
It looks like Rakuzan is just happy to wait and play for the golden cap. The Ubers are traded just as I say that. Okay, it's just milking forever. He finally uses, and this could be a really better trade here for Rakuzan if they can try to do anything. Matu is hiding behind the rock. They are aware of this, and he's just getting melted by the scout. This is 2 picks in favor of Rakuzan, but Nuthouse is hiding in lobby. He's in the back lines.
I mean, this is a point where you kind of hope that you still have another scout in your team to kind of come in, clean up some kills, maybe just get some fights going, but when you've got a sniper, you can't really bank on that happen. You want to have either the team come to you or just get a very patient sight lines, so it's a real shame that...
Nuthouse warning that 1v1 to Sweet, just dropping down with a leap of faith and getting 2 nice shots with the scout.
But now he's caught behind, and he will feel the wrath of Gotti, who will avenge his comrade. And they've got the midpoint over on Rakuzan. This is even more of a safer spot for them to guarantee this an extra point on this map.
TurboTabs, I need you to hype things up because this is 30 seconds left.
Okay, boy. Okay.
Olga is sitting on a 40% ad.
Alright, well, they've actually got the pick onto Pascari now. They can actually still make a go of this. They need to have somebody capping the point. There we go. They're going to have Sweet capping now. They're making the push onto the last point. They've got an Uber charge. There's definitely a possibility of this. They get some cap time, but Scuff will die for the cause. It's just these players left. They have to go full out DM, and hopefully they can make this happen. Swee's the first one to do it. Swee's the second one to do it as well. They can still keep turning this around. There's some splash damage. It's just Sweet. It's just Olga. Olga, keep slapping. Keep slapping, Olga. No, it will be a Uber onto point, and Connor checkmates the enemy team. There will be no sweep of the game coming out from Rakuzan there. That was too close, Ombrack.
What was that Uber again? They should have had a way better time just dealing with these players. I'm talking about Rakuzan right now, and again, they didn't take better position with their charge. They didn't take the high ground. They just sat there on the ground and just waiting to be bombed by Matu and Charlie. So nice hold, I would say, from Nunya too, but that was way too close, and Rakuzan should have got the round here, and this is going to be another golden cap. Who would have expected that, TurboTabs? I certainly didn't.
Dear me, dear me, dear me. I don't know who I should be looking more. Do I look at the great plays of Rakuzan, or do I look at the great plays of Nunya, but do I look at the bad plays of Rakuzan or the bad plays of Nunya? It's just a mixed bag all around on Brack.
Wow, that was quite something. And this time, Lucas, I'm looking at the logs right now, Lucas showing strong with a better DPM, better ratio than on Sunshine. So this time, he's not the one to blame.
I mean, I kind of saw this coming on Brack. He had a good time of just these mids as well. He's turning up quite early on the Sunshine map. Doesn't really have a chance to use that early time. It actually cost him his life on some of those mids, but that's a different story. But over on Gully Wash, you've got so much free reign, so many things you can do with that early time if you get your rollouts down. So I felt like he was going to have a strong presence on that on these mids, and you know those mids are the ones that can turn things into round, turn things into control for this team. But it wasn't really a game of mids. It was more of a game of just back and forth and losing it on last, and just kind of blunders from both of these teams losing around each.
Well, that was so Lucas was probably the MVP for Nunya, and I think the reason why Nunya didn't take this map is we mentioned how the soldiers duo would face each other on this one, and we mentioned how Rakuzan's soldier duo was maybe a bit better, and look at we can't look at the logs anymore, but the ratio from Matu and Charlie was really poor, and I feel like they were just giving away their bodies to make something happen, and didn't quite work out. Yeah,
the life of a double Roma team. It is again, I keep saying it all night, cool game. We're going into the golden cap. The scout is getting aggressive over on demos here. He's not quite got the space that he's hoping for, but you actually have Lucas that's the first one to die in this mid instead. And
Matu got completely melted, and Olga gets the frag onto Condog. What a mid for both. I mean, both teams, they went really aggressive, and but this time it worked out better for Rakuzan, but Matu, oh boy, he's going to remember this one.
Yeah, Sweep kind of just dug the meat in, it looked like. He had some very nice early kills to add to that mid. It just felt like the scouts were just a little bit better coming out from Rakuzan, in my opinion, on that mid. But this is not a game of mids, it's a game of 5 cap points. 5 CP, you could almost call it. So they need to take this last CP away from Nunya here, but they've got a sentry gun built already. They're actually going to move the sentry gun. Oh no, what a time to move the sentry gun! It's not contributing anything right now. It might as well not even be there. They will actually clean it up. They lose Lucas on Demo Man. He's the last line of defense, and now the first line has to be the last line. The pyro comes out. Oh no, they actually just get some bodies onto the point, and Rakuzan have done it. They've got that golden cap. What a time to relocate the sentry gun on Brack.
That was, I don't know if it's unlucky, unfortunate, or an actual mistake, but yeah, what that house did certainly didn't help his team. And I mean, Rakuzan going really strong in this golden cap. That mid was really dominant, and this time they didn't beef that last push. Maybe they just learned from what happened in the 5 last minutes of the regular game. 5 seconds, I mean. They had a Nuba ad, they failed the push, and this time they come out quite strong, and they tied this series.
man, that's one of those plays that happens and makes you never want to do that play again. I bet Nuthouse is never going to move a Sentry Gun in his life after that.
It's quite possible, yeah. But I think instead of putting it on Nuthouse, I think we have to salute the aggression from.
Oh yeah, of course.
The push from Rakuzan here was really strong, going with 2 soldiers just dropping rockets, raining rockets onto Nunya. There's nothing they could have done, and I think even with the gun, it would only have delayed the inevitable.
Yeah, I think Gotti was the one that actually found himself right on top of Lucas as well, and you really bank on your demo man being the last one to survive on a map like Gully Wash, because he can really bring things back from the depths. But if he's the first one to die, you're really, really just being hopeful, basically, over on Nunya if you're going to walk away with that last point. Oh my god, it's just, what a game, Ombrack. It's just been like little moments that nobody has really like just been severely punished. It just seems to be a mixture of blunders. It was just a great varied game from both of these teams, and the fact that both of these teams had just such a varied game, they will walk away with 3 points each, a tie, you can almost call it. And so, I mean, usually we bring in the winner, or we bring in anybody, I suppose, for interview, but I guess if you can hear the sound of my voice as gamers, you can come for the interview whilst we have a quick glance at some of these logs again.
So yeah, let's take a look at that golden cap scruff going.
No.
Oh, there's no. I don't know. Whatever you have in store.
No, let's look at the last logs. We never really got a chance to fully digest those last logs, and besides, golden cap logs, ew, do not want.
Okay, let's go to the regular one, I guess.
Thank you. All right.
Well, yeah, I was mentioning the somewhat bad ratios from Matt and Charlie, both going negative. I think, yeah, they have to. I mean, both of them. This is the first season in Prem, so maybe this is why they've been struggling a bit. But I feel like at some point they were just giving away their body for no good reason.
Just seeing if maybe some of the scouts have some of the stats from the scouts can dictate a story, and not too strange. Maybe Scruff dying a bit more than usual, but we talked about some possible rust involved, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and realise that maybe it was all part of the plan. You know, somebody's got to die for things, Ombrack, and why can't Scruff be that martyr? So, what else? Who else had a good game? I'm having a look, but it's just the
Sweet. I mean, going 27 for 14, pretty good. Well, I'm trying to get.
I mean, Nuthouse had an equally good game. That's why I'm not picking out the easy Swee one, because his rival, his shadow, in the game was matching him almost blow for blow. One has a bit more kills, one has a bit more deaths. I mean, potato, yada. So, still pretty close between these two squads. I mean, I see a bit more Nunya players a bit up there in their kill counters. Then again, no, the soldiers really do bring them down. Like you said, I didn't realise they had that much deaths on their squad. Is it just the style of Nunya play? Is it just look really bad for these soldiers because they're the ones that are making things happen when the stalemates go down?
Probably, and that next step to improve as a team is going to try to fix a bit this, so their bomb are not as worthless. Not worthless, but
cool. I'm right. Jeez,
that wasn't what I meant. But not worthless, but maybe a bit more efficient. Let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we could probably put away the logs for now, and we can introduce some gamers. So we are brought in by Connor, team captain for Team Nunya, and we also have Raf, team. I assume team captain. Yep, team captain. Yep, I'm right. Okay, all right. Okay.
This is probably the first question we have to ask TurboTabs.
That's
Raf,
me.
From what we've seen from the logs, am I correct when I say that while Ace not being here, you played Pocket so you could main call?
No, actually Demos was still main calling, but I played Pocket because I'm used to play Pocket a bit with Olga, and Gotti didn't want to play Pocket anymore because he was struggling with Ace on Pockets, so it's why we switched.
Okay, fair enough.
But Demos was main calling.
Oof, you're gonna have to eat a nice whopping piece of humble pie there, Ombrack. You sound like, oh yeah, of course,
Okay,
of course.
okay.
Okay.
I said
All
I
right.
wasn't 100% sure, so
All
take
right.
it back.
Okay, fine. Give me that pie. All right. So first, I kind of start off things by congratulating the team that have won and saying so. But both of you kind of walk away some points. So I guess congratulations are in order.
No.
Commiseration there.
I'm
Connor.
so mad, dude. I'm so mad.
Okay, Connor, walk me through the feelings. What are you feeling right now? Show me on the doll where Raph touched you.
Fucking everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Yeah, I don't know. It was
Okay,
It was
Connor,
pretty grim.
spell it out for our viewers. What were you expecting the result to be tonight when you came into it?
Quick little 5-0, 5-0. 6 points on the leaderboard.
Hot damn.
Pretty much the same, to be honest. Like, we didn't win the whole week because Ace was leaving the team pretty much. So we didn't have a single scrim, and we only played one map against O Electro as a warm up before, and we got 5-0 against them. So we weren't expecting much.
So
With
this
the
is
same
how
lineup.
bad Nunya is. Whoa.
Okay, come on, guys. One by one, tell me what went wrong for your team. I'm going to start off with you, Connor. What went wrong in your opinion?
I don't know. We just get the official jitters or something. It's weird. Like we went, was it 3-0 up on the first map, and then we just slowly lost it. I don't even know how. And then that last round was unreal. I don't know how you capped that off. Like who kills your med?
Yeah, that round.
Who kills your med? We got another pick, and then someone's just ×4 on the cap, and no one's close to the point or something.
Oh God, I'm glad I wasn't playing that game.
Yeah.
Okay, Raph, what went wrong for your team in your opinion?
Well, at the beginning of Sunshine, we were I don't know, trying to find out how to play as a team, because it was the first time we were using that. Scruff didn't play the past 3 weeks with us because he had some problem. So we just took it at the last moment because he was able to play and POS wasn't. So we just tried to find our mark, and it was better at the end of Sunshine. And I don't know, when Billy Wash was very close as well. But I don't know, I wasn't expecting us to do that good, especially with me on Pocket. But I don't know, it worked
so
well at the
interesting. Gully was all over me on Roma. Honestly, he was just on mine and Lucas's head all the time, on the mids and everything. I couldn't handle it.
I mean, Raph, if you had the ability to change time a little bit and get the original squad that you were expecting to go into this, would you take that choice, or would you actually stick with what you went with tonight?
Swap was with us at the beginning of the season, so I would be really happy if even if PS is really good. We played the last season with Scruff, so I was happy to play with him. And on Medic, I don't know, Ace was doing well at the beginning, but since a few weeks he doesn't want to play anymore with us. So
he met Credu, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, we were. It was a good game for us tonight. We were happy to play it.
So, Condog, do you from the logs and from the game, TurboTabs and me, we said that you sounded like a really aggressive team, and do you think this is maybe what
sounded like an aggressive team?
Seemed, sorry. Okay,
no,
England isn't my city.
I mean, no, I'm not. I'm not saying it sounds. They were.
But do you think this is maybe what led you to not winning this? Maybe being over aggressive at time.
I think that plays into it. On Sunshine, so the style of our team is we have sort of a 2 roamer sort of thing going on. Lucas gets 30%, as you can see from the logs, and on mids, Lucas was pretty aggressive, and then we just have 2 solis on him, and he'd be dead. So I guess maybe we were too aggressive at some points, but I don't know. It's just we're so weird in officials. It's weird.
Raph, talk to me about these maps. Do you think if you met Nunya on some different maps, the result would change at all, or did the maps play a big part of your draw tonight?
I don't really know. We didn't play them since when they were playing pre-season play. No, they didn't play it, but we didn't scrim them for at least 3 weeks. So I don't know how they play on any other map,
okay.
And I don't know if I don't know if we have any good map or bad map, except process maybe. So. No, I have no idea about that.
Connor, write this down for the playoff, quick!
As if Condog is in playoffs.
I'll see you there, Ombrack, buddy.
I'm not playing there.
All right, Connor. How about you? What about these maps? Are these maps are they a favourite of yours at all, or of the teams, or would you have preferred a different map?
I feel like we're a little uncomfortable on Sunshine, really. Like the mids is so weird. Like we only ever go right side, and we don't really have anything else to do on that map. And sacking into last, it's a bit tough. Gully's okay. It's just super slow. I don't know. 1-1 is not great.
All right, so I'm out of questions. Ombrack, have you got any smart questions for us?
Yes.
Thank you, buddy.
Let's look at week 3 fixture. Nunya, you're playing Der das Licht ist doof. So with these slight hiccups tonight, do you still believe you can make it to playoffs if that was your plan in the first place?
Yeah, I think we can. We scrimmed them. We scrimmed them the other day. Thanks, Ombrack. And we 5-1, 6-1 them. So I'd go in expecting to beat them, but
so just as
after,
tonight.
Yeah, but after tonight, I don't know. Officials, man.
So do you actually believe maybe overconfidence was another mistake before this game?
Yeah, maybe. I think we looked into the logs, and we saw that they had Olga on meds and Scruff was back, and we'd sort of dismissed it as a win already without even playing. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay. And about Rakuzan, you're playing the Swamp next week. Do you know with which lineup this is gonna be, and what do you expect from this game?
No idea.
Okay.
Nice.
We
will see, I guess, Thursday. Yeah. Surprise.
So, but I think week 1 you got 1 point. Here you got 3. Are you going for the full 6 points next time?
I don't really know. I didn't really look at the Champ is the team with Spread and Gink. Yeah. I don't know. I think Prem is this season is pretty much equally skilled except Ascent and Seven. So I think every game is going to be close, and I hope we have a good game on Thursday.
Okay.
Against the Champ.
Nice. That's all I have for you, TurboTabs.
Thank you, Ombrack. Thank you. All right. Well, for being such great interviewees, guys, I'm going to allow you to take the microphone for a good solid 20 seconds and let you shout out to anybody in the world right now. I'm going to start off alphabetically with Connor.
Just shout out to my team. Shout out to anyone in the Nunya Circle Jerk. Yeah, that's about it.
Raph.
Shout out to Scruff to actually receive my Snapchat and come play with us. Shout out to Olga for marking. Shout out to Gotti for being really very annoying about my accent. And that's it. And shout out to Sui for being really good. And Demos as well for main calling.
Your new Snapchat was such a great way of organising teams.
Exactly.
All right. Ombrack, have you got any special people you want to talk about?
Shout out to TurboTabs for being such a cool caster with me.
That's correct.
Okay, no gay anymore. Shout out to Beta for being on a producing scene tonight. Shout out to both of the teams. That was actually kind of an enjoyable game, and I'm really glad it went to Golden Cap twice because that means a lot of points for my Fantasy League team. So yay for me. And shout out to Chad, shout out to everyone involved in TFTV and Rewind, and shout out to Babs, and that's all for me.
Oi.
You're welcome.
Well, Beta, can the public hear you right now? Can they?
Well,
do you have that power?
They can.
Oh, okay, wow. Producer magic. I guess, would you like a shout out?
Yes, sure. I'd like to shout out, I have a demo call on ETF2L.
Ooh.
It should be very visible if you just look at the forum activity. It's called ETF2L Season 29 demo call.
Can't be that
any
visible.
SIG frags from any official, you can send it there, and I will include it if it's good enough.
Can't be that visible. It's on the ETF2L forums.
Well, you go there to play your matches, hopefully.
Alright.
I think most people that play in ETF2L know about ETF2L website. I'm hoping. And then of course there's Fantasy TF2. You can still get into it. You can still make some teams and battle with your friends to see who can get the best score. So even if you might not be able to get in there and win at this point, you can still make a team and battle it out with one of your friends to see. Just flex your nerd muscles and your game knowledge. See if you're better than me at predicting who's actually good at this game. But that's going to be it to me.
Seriously, that's all TF2 players talk about when fantasy teams just roll in. You're like, ah, yes, the fantasy teams. I'm going to do well tonight. I've got this player and that player, this player, that player. It truly is a wondrous time of the year. Anyway, my shout-outs now. I get to do all the official stuff, the boring stuff like talking about our YouTube, Team Fortress TV. We've also got a Twitter, Team Fortress TV. We've also got a Facebook. We never update, Team Fortress TV. We've also got a website. What was that website called again? Oh yeah, it was called teamfortress.tv. And I've been TurboTabs. With me has been Connor and Raf on the interview. Beta has been our production member, and of course a big shout out to Ombrack.
Yeah. And follow me on twitter.com/asen_Ombrack.
Ignore that. Follow me on _TurboTabs. I've got some searing quality tweets that
there are buttons on my Twitter. That's my birthday, guys.
Yeah, just follow all the Twitters. Okay, I think that's us. We're gonna bounce. Peace. See ya.
Out.